What's up? It's J-Rock back on the Ox Talk. We got the man, the myth, the legend, the OG Magnum. You might know him if you're in the car scene. Ever see him around on social media, popping up all over the place. But even cooler than that, this dude has lived his life and traveled and just had some really cool freaking experiences in life. A great tattoo collector, as you can see. One of the first things that ever made me really, look at that, was when I see him in a music video, covered in tattoos, just getting down, and I was like, oh, that, I hope is me when I'm older, dude. Like,
Right.
Let them know a little bit about yourself.
66 years old. I have a Dodge Magnum that I've had for almost 15 years. It's been a lot of fun driving it all over the country, really. And just, I don't know, it's been an interesting experience for me because I kind of compare myself to the Hawk Tui girl.
Okay.
No, and here's why. Because it happened to her.
Right.
I was like, give yourself more credit.
Yeah.
She wasn't out there trying to do anything.
Yeah, it just happened.
And I wasn't either at all. In fact, it's coming up 10 years this November, Classic Weekend, the video that went viral.
Right.
That kicked off everything, and it wasn't real hitter.
Which it was the one that was before that.
It was way before that.
Way before
Oh
that.
yeah, almost a year. Yeah, before Real Hitter.
Who was that with?
It was taken on the streets of Orlando at Classic Weekend. I got out of the car just to vibe out like we did, ghost riding and stunt. That's what you did, right? And it was just nothing. I didn't even have a video camera and no social media.
You're just chilling. You're just living life.
I was there. I was with my older son. We always went to Classic Weekends for years. By that time, had the Magnum in all the shows and everything down there. And I just pulled out in the bar district. I had some friends behind me in their cars. We all got out, kind of danced a little bit. Police came up. I jumped in my car, rolled up the window, and drove away. And it just got posted. I can send you a link to it. But she just posted it up. It'll be 10 years.
That's
from that
decade.
Yeah, and I didn't even know what happened, but overnight, we're driving home the next day to Tallahassee from Orlando. My kids are like, "Oh, you're viral and shit," and my phone's blowing up and everything. I'm like, "What do you mean going viral? Like, what are you talking about?" And they're like, Plies just put up that video, and I went, "What video?" They're like, "The video that some lady, Christian Nicole, by the way, in Orlando, took that video. She, this lady took this video and is posted." I went, "What do you mean viral?" Well, Plies put it up, Boozy put it up, and Snoop put it up. And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty crazy." Stupid. From there, it just got bigger and bigger. And then, of course, I got called to be in the Plies video, Real Hitter. But I've been doing that stuff with my boys. Car was a project car for us. They like the Magnum. They like big wheels. Remember King of the South, East Coast Riders, the video back on VHS format. My kids grew up on that from the time they were born. They just logically fell into it, and they had cameras, iPhones that I handed them right off the get-go. Became a single dad with them. That became our project, and so it was really interesting. It just morphed onto itself.
That Magnum is beautiful, by the way. We'll put some pictures and videos of it and stuff. It's a beautiful car. It's funny because on social media you can always see people tagging, "Oh, I seen him," and it'll be him turning a corner or something, and they're just like, "Oh, it's look OG," and it's always that's the whip.
I love that.
It's awesome.
But I mean, it is my everyday driver. I got a car seat in it right now for my 3-year-old grandson, my 4-year-old granddaughter. They love the Magnum. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, you're the coolest person ever.
They love it. They think it's so much fun.
People get picked up as
I remember. So when I was a kid, I remember my dad and them had an old Astro van, and they gutted it and they put amplifiers in the back and just railed it full of stuff. And they would come pick us up from school blaring Metallica and Pantera, and and the doors would open, and it's just everyone's like.
Well, and I was the dad pulling up in the Magnum with Bellagio spinners and floaters. Even though we had to start with something small, I was still playing the music and stuff. Sometimes I'd mortify him and pick them up and play Christmas music during Christmas time.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Because they're all trying to be all badass.
Yeah.
I pull up with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah.
It's Christmas time now. Really loved it. My kids would dive in and hide.
Everybody at school definitely talked about it and thought they were so cool though.
Oh yeah.
I think they had maybe a little bit of credit. They were actually very quiet about it, other than people would see us with the car. But as it turns out, my older son was Florida Whips. And if you followed anything into car culture, cars with big wheels and anything like that for 10 or 15 years, it was him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and nobody knew.
Oh, wow.
I never told anybody, and he never told anybody. Again, part of that project, I just gave them the iPhones and let them go out there and do their things.
Yeah.
They had their YouTube channels, and we would get invited all the time. They never put me on their channels. No
Yeah.
shit.
That happens
All that.
Like, look at me now, though.
Yeah, right. No, but it's one of
today.
It's one of my jokes because I'm like, I'm spending money to get y'all down in Miami every month so y'all can get videos at Carol Mart, y'all.
Yeah.
How do you think you're getting down here to South Florida every month?
I think put you on
In Tampa and Orlando, a classic weekend for like what, 10 years in a row, yo. That both of my sons, they both take pictures of cars. That's how they make their living, and not for social media, for car dealerships.
Yeah, for dealerships and
high-end car dealerships and everything like that.
Have you ever seen the Amelia Island Exotic Car Show?
I have heard about it. I've never been.
It's pretty good. We've been there once, I think.
Yeah, I think me and my son would love to come, and
guys should.
actually a grandson too, because he'd love it.
It's really nice. There's some pretty cool stuff. If they take photos, they would have a field day there.
The car show that I've been doing in Jacksonville for about 15 years is King of the South car show, and that's Brian's car show. It's right here at the fairgrounds.
Right over there,
So it's big.
Yeah, it's around April. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's huge.
big-
Oh yeah,
big
no,
car
this is
show.
huge. Yeah, we're talking several hundred cars at least. You know? Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a whole indoor area. He's got all the tuners and imports
Right.
and the
He's
muscle
friendly to all
cars.
of them.
Yeah, they have music contest subs, two-stepping a little
Right.
bit, you know,
Probably
when the cars go
hydraulic
pop, pop, pop,
contests.
pop, pop, pop,
Oh,
pop, pop, and that kind of craziness, which I love.
Yeah.
So that was it for us for years, and that was always our bonding thing, and now it's still continued, and I love the car. I would never sell it. I have so many memories, and
100%, yeah.
she loves going and driving, and with the new suspension, I mean, the whole drive over here, I would just let her drive. She's like,
Cruise control.
Amanda.
Going down what?
That's her name.
Is there a name? I mean,
Yeah.
Driving down I-10. I know normally I'd tattoo people and stuff, obviously, and we're not doing tattoo. My man doesn't have too much space left to get anyways, but I absolutely love the sleeves and stuff. I'd love to know a little bit more.
Sure. Biomechanical.
Biomechanical, it's
On
kind
this
of
one.
organic biomechanical too.
We went
because
with a
I
little bit of the
definitely-
thing from Alien, a
Yeah.
little bit of that artist, I forget his name.
The HR
somebody
Geiger.
help me. Geiger.
Yes,
There you
absolutely.
go. My tattoo artist, he's in Tallahassee. He's really done almost every bit of my body, and I got to give him credit. You know, Alan over at Euphoria. I don't even know, he might even be retired now, but like I've been going to him for 27 years. This is all like my tribute to biomechanical shit. And then this is all Celtic work. I didn't know about doing big pieces, but really our tradition going back into the 70s when I started was, you know, either sailors or prisoners had tattoos, basically. I was a sailor.
Okay. Yeah.
Back then, people got pieces.
Patches.
Kind of.
badges
And they didn't
and stuff.
tie them together.
Yeah.
So I kind of was in that genre for a long
Starting to get the
time.
American traditional.
Yeah, wait,
concept,
yeah. And I did have a marijuana leaf there in 1977 that we talked about, a Tiger Jimmy tattoo. I had to cover it because I was a diver and I was diving extensively and did that for about 30 years. Actually, that's why I live in Tallahassee. I was a cave diver.
Okay.
Deep mixed gas, technical, deep cave diver.
In and out of
Wrecks,
suits.
everything. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I still love the water. I can't dive anymore, and I can't clear past 3 feet. And divers will know. Like my ears won't let me anymore. It is what it is. Permanent tinnitus. I got to go places no human's ever been. Name somewhere and explore somewhere no human's ever been ever.
So you've named the place that you've discovered, researched underwater.
Oh my god.
So and to put that into perspective,
And that's
No
just
big
like
deal.
such a trip.
Yeah.
Like to me, it was like, here's the thing, okay? I wanted to go to space. I wanted to be an astronaut. Back then, my vision was not great. I wore glasses, and they just ruled you out. Of course, since then, we have surgery. I wear no glasses. I'm 66, 2020. I should have been an astronaut. I should still be an astronaut. Anyway, that said is that I kind of looked across the whole playing field of things to do. I live in Florida. Was what can I do that's, I don't know, kind of extreme, but that I could go and still discover stuff. I wanted to see things firsthand. And the ocean, the water, obviously I had just finished 6 years of the Navy, traveling all around the world on that water, on the ocean, and trashing it the whole time, by the way, which we have fixed. And I was part of that, which is kind of cool. That's a whole other chapter. That was a big part of my life, and
While diving and stuff like that, what's probably the coolest thing that you've have seen? Like, to put this into perspective too, our world is 80%-ish of water, right? And only a very small portion of that's really even been discovered. Got the opportunity to name a place that you discovered.
Quick little backstory, and we talked about this. I'm 66, so you get me talking. But I was, I did the Navy thing, and I got out of the Navy, and I went to school. I went to UC Berkeley, got a degree in history and computer science, and I moved back to Florida. I immediately got involved in diving. This is in the mid-'80s, 90s, and into the 2000s, was that I got involved in the diving, and I was environmentalist and an advocate. So I got work. I started going viral back in the day. Now what that means is that when I first heard viral, what it really meant to me and people my age is you made the front page of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You made the 6 o'clock news. Mm-hmm. Well, I was making the 6 o'clock news all the time, and I was making the front page of the paper. Miami Herald, Tampa Tribune, St. Pete's, back when things were really a paper, Palm Beach Post, all that shit, right? I started getting picked up like that, and I started looking at marine debris, especially plastics in the ocean, which I had been dumping for a whole time in the Navy, and just disgusted by it all, and realizing that I was witnessing it. But remember, I also got a degree in computer science, really data management at Berkeley. So I realized that if we didn't quantify the issue and start keeping track of things, that we could just be pointing fingers and saying shit, and we could make what would be called circumstantial claims, but we needed substantial claims.
Right.
Because they're assholes and they just wouldn't recognize. And I mean, people like the cruise industry and the Navy, for example. And I'm going to give them credit in a minute, because once we caught them red-handed, which thank you, I helped with that, because we were collecting data and counting it and going, boy, there's a lot of correct, here's 100 cups within this much distance on South Beach, and they all say Royal Caribbean. Now y'all can deny it all you want, but it's pretty much that, okay?
Yeah.
And we finally got a video. It's a classic video called the Levitt's video that really turned the cruise lines overnight, because they made that got on CNN. Really cool. And that came in, and we first saw it for the first time, and we're like, oh, we got them ready. And
made a difference, yeah.
But to their credit, they did change. At that time, the term ecotourism was also being created and talked about. I used that term a lot. But in that time frame, I also got to I had dinner with Jacques Cousteau. The night I found out I was going to be a dad for the first time. And then I also got to dive with and work with, go on her book tour for a while with Dr. Sylvia Earle, the first woman chief scientist of NOAA, who wrote the first book on climate change called Sea Change in 1992. So got to start doing all of this, and we actually did affect a lot of change. We got the whole Florida Keys designated as a sanctuary. So I worked on a lot of water quality issues and a lot of diving issues, and getting divers more in tune with protecting the resources.
Right.
So that's saltwater and offshore, and during that time I became intrigued with becoming a better diver, and it led me straight to West Skiles and cave diving.
Right.
That was it for me. Oh yeah, the first time I went into Florida Spring, it was like crack. I was hooked.
Man.
That crystal clear fresh water, no more having to wash gear again after a decade more of saltwater diving and diving in polluted shit and stuff like that. I'm like, put me in these caves. So I started cave diving extensively and got deeply involved with that, and also water quality issues again and again, and then spending years just collecting data and turning that into eventually legislation, being an advocate for those things. And that's kind of what I did for a long time. Locally, one of the neat projects I had the honor and privilege to work with, and this is back in the day with Maveen Besh. She's a historical figure of Jacksonville that a lot of people don't even know about American Beach or the Rendezvous Club or Nana Dune. Back in the day, the second African-American millionaire, A.L. Lewis, made his money from insurance. Madam C.J. Walker is the first.
And
she made her money from things.
Is that here in Jacksonville?
Here in Jacksonville. So he went and bought American Beach. So black people could go swimming in the ocean.
Right.
And right on the head of the beach is a square cement block building called the Rendezvous Club, where every imaginable artist from the Chitlin Circuit back in the day for 40 years performed in that little cube.
Yeah.
People that the names go on and on and on.
That's
endless.
Called the Rendezvous?
The Rendezvous Club. It's all closed down but protected.
Right.
Managed to protect it, but never managed to restore it.
Right.
Right next to it is a geologic feature that's very unique for Jacksonville and Duval called Nana Dunes. And they're huge. They're several 100-foot-high dunes outside by Fernandina Beach.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And Nana Dunes is a
Nana,
remnant of Africa when they were connected continents. And Mavine, so Mavine is the daughter of A.L. Lewis. Mavine, when she was young, was sent to France and to Europe to be an opera singer. So she never really experienced the South and what was going on and discrimination and Jim Crow and all that. She was living well and treated very well in Europe for many, many, many years. Her dad dies and she comes back to this country. I meet her in the mid-'80s. And she was probably in her 60s just then. I fell in love with her instantly. Oh my God. She had dreads that went around her and into big
like a sack,
bag
like that one on her shoulder.
Carried. And her nails, she didn't cut her nails. And she smelled like coconuts and mangoes. And I was like in my 20s, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I love this woman. I was in Sierra Club. I already had a name and environmental stuff, and I met this woman, and it was like she started talking about preserving all of that, and especially Nana Dunes. We persisted. I eventually went to work for the group that put it together, which was the Trust for Public Land. They're still in existence. They're out of San Francisco. In fact, we doubled the size of Jacksonville Zoo.
Nice.
That was one of the projects that happened.
It used to be really small.
They were very limited and they weren't going to get any bigger at all. And the property opened up next to them, and the people that owned the property were amenable to a fair exchange, a fair price. Something was worked out, and we managed to put the deal together. For them. We had to hold it for a while because Jacksonville Zoo was so unprepared financially and everything else to acquire it. That was the problem.
Right.
So what our group did was we would come in and say, don't worry, we got you. At the end of it, you are going to have to get it. Hold it for you, and that's one of our specialties because we could move on a dime. We could just go out there and just go, okay, no problem, we're going to buy it. And then we would literally buy it and own it and hold it until Jacksonville Zoo could go, oh, okay, we need to get this and that, oh my God, you know, and grants and blah, 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 put it together, everything. Couple years or whatever, and then boom, there it goes. But anyway, so Nana Dunes is a very interesting geologic feature because ships coming around the edge, they would not have to top over the horizon to see land. They could put somebody up high and you would see Nana Dunes and nobody on the coast would see your ship. But if you ever get a chance, go up to American Beach. Go to the Rendezvous Club. Nana Dunes are all right across the street from each other. And go and see this. It's amazing. And you know, someday maybe somebody will pick it up and make it into something, you know.
Should, 100%. There needs to be like an organization that really kind of does that, because like a thing in Jacksonville that we noticed, because we're in a historical building trying to bring it back, is that a lot of people are like, we want to reserve these things, we want to preserve them, we want to keep them going, we want to do this, but they don't, they kind of let them sit there. They don't do anything. And then even if they do
that's
something,
what's happening to the Rendezvous Club.
They'll just put a cage around it and keep it not from falling down. It's like, that's not the same thing. It needs to be funding a business. It needs to be supporting its community.
A lot of people in that community and the houses around that area are generally African American families that have bought up properties over the years because of that significance of that location. And Mavine, by the way, when we did manage to get it protected, we did manage to preserve it because they were going to keep developing the whole golf resort and stuff that's up there. Once they realized what things were, to their credit also, and they realized that we could step in and we could actually, you know, give fair market and work with them, they were more than glad to say, yeah, we're good. Yeah, so it wasn't like a fight. We were all good. But all that said is Mavine did see the completion of the project and passed just right after. Sorry, see, I went too long.
Why is that sorry? Like, this is
absolutely love it. Some of your tattoos and stuff. How long have you had fully sleeved?
This one here was bits and pieces over a period of probably 15-ish years. Starting, I mean, my first tattoo was 78, 77, something like that. And then my next tattoo would have been 83-ish.
Well, before I was.
And then 83, 86, 87, 88, 90s, you know. As I put a piece here, I put a piece there. My twin and ravens. I'm a Celt. That's, I'm a druid. So I would get bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And then what I finally decided was to tie in a grapevine is what I chose, because in the Celtic culture we know about Rome. Rome, to me, and my ethnicity of being a Celt is, Rome came and conquered our land, took our religion, and enslaved our people. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like dwell on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I do know my ethnicity base roots, and I like it. I'm comfortable with it in a timeless kind of way because it goes way even beyond all of that in my mind. That's why that's how I live my life as well. I have no fear of dying, for example, or mortality. That's ridiculous.
That's big.
That's a big waste of time to be fearful of something so inevitable. Never dwell on the past.
Yeah.
Right.
It is what it is. It's part of your story. Know it and move on. My wife puts it very well. You're either a victim or you're a survivor. And that doesn't minimize victimization.
Right.
It just means if you really want to survive, the choice is yours. I'm a survivor. Now I'm old. I don't worry about the shit in the future because I have no control over the shit. So as you can tell, literally the only thing that matters to me ultimately is the moment I'm in. The time I spend right now with you and the time I spend on the floor playing with my grandson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Time
and you find true
disappears
peace
completely.
too. That's the thing. Is when you're living in the moment, you kind of alleviate some of your anxieties. Your anxiety is usually not knowing the future. Depression is obviously.
People get all upset.
Past,
Very much so.
But searching for peace is directly in that moment and just chilling.
Take a breath and enjoy the people you're with. Precious life is and how fleeting it is. And don't waste it. You can fuck with my money all you want. I really don't care. Money's money. I can get more, but don't fuck with my time. I know one thing for sure that people probably want to know in our conversation and on your podcast is, first of all, where have I been? My social media shut down completely. I did that over a year ago. What I determined was that, and I was saying that earlier, I compare myself to the Hawk Chewy girl, is that it happened to me. I didn't try to have it happen. I didn't hold up a camera on my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is just freaking weird. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Like, and why I could never understand something like Twitter ever was that, okay, why would anybody give a shit what I think? That's fucking weird. And because I don't give a shit what you think at all. So I'm like, the whole point of fucking Twitter, or whatever it's called now. Okay, Elon's big. I thought it was called.
It's a rat hole.
I thought it was called Elon's biggest mistake. Elon's hubris. Sorry. I almost want to like the guy I did once, but no. What has happened is that I realized that I had to stop. It got to be too much. 1 million plus followers on 3 different platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. First of all, dealing with Mark Zuckerberg and his house, I'm done with that shit, bro. I just have to be honest. And all due respect to his house. People don't understand when you go on social media, number one,
You're on their platform.
You're on their platform, which means you don't have a First Amendment right, you dummies. Here's the thing. I'm a content creator, or was trying to be in a little bit, and had a lot of fun and meeting people. People love that stuff, right? It was just being beaten to pieces by Facebook and Meta, honestly, on both platforms. And no accountability, no support whatsoever. And I'm like, I don't need this. I just don't need this.
Too much extra stuff.
No. And then TikTok, the same thing, because I was addicted to TikTok, I'm going to be honest, for a year. Oh my God. I was like, if there would have been a cyber plug, I'd have been on TikTok. And I literally stopped because I felt I was having the crack addiction. So what I've learned is that I don't need any of it. It's fabulous. I have a legacy and a legend. Thank you, Plies and Real Hitter and everybody else. But, Plies and Kodak, Real Hitter, Omar, the director who put it all together, all those people. And all the people in it is phenomenal. It's such an honor and privilege to be in it. I have that status. And now I've done dozens of other videos. And they're all over the internet. And I don't have to do anything. I can come here and talk to you. It's going to be all over the internet. And so the blessing of that that is such a relief after that million experience and Facebook and the ads and the inundation and the commercialization. And then the stories that people message you trying to get something out of you.
Oh, I can't even imagine
constantly.
that.
Oh my God, and I'm an emotional guy. I mean, I cry for Moana. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, the scene where the grandmother dies and becomes the manta ray.
Yes.
I have a turtle on my back.
Okay.
That's my turtle. Oh no, dude. Oh no.
Oh my God, see, that's cool too.
Oh yeah, no, I'm absolutely in tears on all the Disney. I'm like, I hate freaking Disney.
They're always making me cry.
Always, man. And I just saw it Inside Out, the first one.
We saw the first one, yeah. That was sad, yeah.
I had to search it. My 3-year-old wanted Blimpy Bee.
The elephant
The
thing?
little elephant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know what that is. And he keeps repeating it. He had no idea what it was. And I Googled it and it came up. And I'm like, okay, I think this is it. And he recognized immediately. That's it. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh yeah.
Well, see, riding in the car with you is a core memory, so.
Exactly.
The what?
It's a core memory, like an instant.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
So
No. Every time the core memories crashed out, I was. He literally looked at me at one point like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Bobby's having a hard time. Just chilling." It's happy tears.
Do you have any projects you're working on or anything you want to shout out before?
Right now, well, so I just did a really fun birthday party down in Daytona. That was awesome. Bo with A1A Promotions, and it was on the Streamline Hotel, which is an Art Deco hotel. It's the birthplace of NASCAR. I didn't know that. They wrote the charter in the lobby or something.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's rooftop. In Daytona Beach, it's the only rooftop bar. It's on the 5th floor. Yeah, full bar, restaurant downstairs. It was fabulous, amazing. Great artist. There was 95 South was there, and they're from here in Jacksonville. So we might, we were talking, and they're like, yeah, man, you do a little video project or something.
That's cool.
I got something to Diego that we're talking about today, actually. You know, I'm always up here with Senile. And the East Side Boys were at the party, and the guy that did the song Move It from Madagascar. He was so cool. It was so much fun. Yeah, it was all older rap from the 90s. Average age was 50. I was not the oldest one.
A message from that too to take is, if you do social media and all that kind of stuff, like, you don't have to always do it. It's not gonna always be like once you build your brand and you actually do and get your following, like we discussed in some of our other episodes about just building your brand, your network, your connections, and then your fan base to make sales, bookings, and all that come. And you don't necessarily have to partake in social media. You can take a cleanse. It's great for your life. It's not gonna jeopardize all of your business. Take it from him. He still gets bookings. He still gets to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got more stuff coming up on here with you.
Yeah.
And basically what it amounts to for me is realizing that the self-promotion, I get it kind of, but it is grating on so many people. Even your fans are starting to be like, OMG. It's the same face and the same voice and the same tone. And it's like, bro, take a break. Like what we were talking about, even some artists, let's not say names. But they're older. And it's like, yo, dude, it's okay.
It's okay
to
to
go home and chill and, drive a golf cart around.
Super Bowl
go freak all the people down in the villages and shit. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I mean, we need more goths in the villages. That's my view, to make this into 5 interviews.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any email or anything that people could reach out to you for booking or anything?
No, they can reach you.
They can contact us, and then if you ever and realistically, what
unless you're on my cell phone.
I
mean, if you're on my phone, obviously call me. But if you're not, then you can call him. Reach out
and realistically, only do that if you're looking to have him as a host for a car show or do an interview, do some interesting conversations. But realistically, it's car stuff, man. That's about it,
And for Jacksonville, I definitely fuck with Duval in the house. I've been coming out here for years. Car shows. Definitely hope to do King of the South this next year, 2025. And coming to do this. This doesn't have to be the only time or the first time. I come out and mess with people here. I like Jacksonville. I actually work here as well.
You build stages and stuff.
I'm a general stagehand with the local union, IATSE.
Okay.
International Association of Theater Stagehand Employees
Aw.
and Moving Pictures.
You love it.
And it goes on, it's more, but I'm gonna stop right there.
Sure.
The local 115, which I've been with for now 2 years,
Mhm.
and I'm just so proud, really, to get a chance to do it. I love it. We load and unload trucks and build up big gear and huge shows. It's crazy. It's hard.
Oh, yeah.
It just reminds me of the stuff I actually liked in the Navy,
Yeah, heck yeah.
which was the hard work like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, goes to show you, stay grinding, work hard, do what you enjoy doing, be passionate about something, make a change in the world, and your experience in this life will be full.
Absolutely.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and like you said, live in the moment, find your inner peace.
And it's never too late to do shit. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
66, so I started being a stagehand. I was 64. I'm
Right.
retired,
That's
actually.
awesome,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Cause I always feel like I'm too
But it
late
was
to
like,
start stuff.
my oldest stepson's like, yo, we need help doing a stage. I said, what do I gotta do? He goes, dude, you're gonna love everybody there. They look
Aw.
just like you.
Yeah.
And I showed up, they all look just like
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. What do I have to do? They're like, push that big box over there. I'm like,
Cool.
yo, I got this, you know, and then just, that's it, you know. I mean, within a few minutes, I was a stagehand.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So it's never too late ever to do anything. I mean, I'm always thinking ahead and doing stuff. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid of taking the weird opportunities like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have been so easy for me to say, oh, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I don't know anybody that's there. Oh, it's going to be hard.
Mhm.
What if I can't do it? I mean, really? I'm not in fucking high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you
I'm
never
sorry,
know.
you know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck over it, show your ass up,
Yeah.
and make it happen. In
Yeah.
fact, there's an interesting quote 10% is what you know, but 90% is showing up.
I think you said that.
Whatever it is,
Mhm.
get your butt down to it. Don't just talk about it.
Do
You
it.
know, I want to be an artist. Okay, well, get your ass down to the museum and learn art.
100%.
Surround yourself by artists.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Action-
saying?
Action gets it. You know?
Yeah, be present. You want to be an artist, a music, go to people's shows.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh, makes sense.
100%.
No, but people sit around in their living rooms and they
Yeah.
live like things virtually, or they think everything I have to do is on social
Right,
media.
right, yeah.
Like what we're
Yeah.
talking about. To
Yeah.
put down the freaking phone, and when you're in an experience it. You don't have to videotape the rocket. NASA's got a better video. You can
Yeah.
make that way.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they even track it for you and everything.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
don't
Video.
gotta take it on your phone. Everybody's like this rather than watching the rocket actually launch. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody's got their phone out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of times where, like, in what I do with music and tattooing, I'll go places and I'll meet people and, like, I'll be doing my experience and I'll forget to take pictures. And then, like, I'll go to tell somebody about it and I'll be like, oh, you got pictures? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, man, I forgot. I must have not taken one. And they're like, you didn't take a picture when you met that person? I said, no, I was more so hanging out with the person and living. And
That's how this
enjoying
last
it.
week it
Like,
was.
It's here.
Yep,
Like,
exactly.
I forgot, man. So I really
Right.
appreciate you coming all the way over here and chatting
My
with us
pleasure.
and stuff, man.
Always. Thank
we'll
you.
get into it. And,
Thank
much
you.
love.